Hi everybody, this is Larry up in Brainerd, Minnesota. You know, a lot of people have asked me, Larry, can I raise perennials in the rain gutter growth system or the kiddie pool system? You know, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. And if you live in a southern state, like my brother, for instance, lives in Nashville, he's got a floating doctor, he's got a phenomenal blueberry plant in a 5-gallon bucket growing on the rain gutter growth system that he overwinters and no problem because you don't really get that really hard frost that's going to kill the roots. Well, when I was doing the kiddie pool thing here last year, I had got some blackberry plants and raspberry plants, and I got a blackberry plant that was, I had planted them, and I had one left over, just about half dead. And just for the heck of it, I stuck it in this kiddie pool in a homemade grow bag that I had made. And it went wild because of the air pruning effect. I've talked about it before, where the roots just don't hit the side and wrap around. You get that root bound, but you get an actual beautiful root structure, and the plant goes nuts. Well, I want to take raspberry plants, blueberry plants are not cheap. I mean, around this area in the spring, they're $20 a piece. Well, I got access. I can get a bunch from a friend of mine. I can dig them up 40, 50, 100 of them, whatever, and I'm going to pot them up in these little 1-gallon root pouches. These are very inexpensive. They're like 38 cents a piece or 1 gallon, and a nice little grow bag. And what I'm going to do is set them up in my kiddie pool type setup. What I'll do is just build an inexpensive 2x4 frame long, line it with plastic, and put a bunch of these in. I'm going to put cuttings and small plants in here and raise them up and either sell them or I'll want to keep them later. And I'm going to do this with blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. You could even do it with grape cuttings. You could do it with plants, things like that. But the thing is, can I overwinter it? Can I get, okay, people that are in the northern states that say, okay, well, okay, here's what you want to do. First of all, I'll put a link to everything on the bottom. Click on the Show More button, description below this video, and I'll have links to everything. Here's a link I'll have down there for all these grow bags. And they come in 1 gallon all the way up to 30-gallon size. So, I mean, you can go with a bunch of different ones. I would go with at least, if you're going to raise it, a full-size blackberry, blueberry, I'd go with a 7-gallon, a 10-gallon, or something like that. And you could put it in these kiddie pools, or you could put it in, build something that you can put it in and you can keep it self-watered, which I'm going to do. Now comes winter, okay? What I'm going to do is when we get our first frost and the leaves drop off before the roots have frozen this, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to line them all up and I am going to cover them with leaves. Maybe even bank them with some straw bales and I'm going to see if I can overwinter them, and then of course in the spring I'll put them back in there and grow them out again. That's how I think I can get by and do it in this, when it gets 25, 30 below up here in Minnesota. Otherwise, if I left them out in the open and they're not buried in the ground. The reason I think this will work is I have a friend right down the hill from me, a buddy of mine, and he's got a ritual he goes through. Every New Year's Eve he goes out, he always leaves some carrots in his garden, but he covers them with a couple feet of leaves. And if you've ever been deer hunting in frozen Minnesota in the winter, I'll tell you what, you can be out there in a deer stand, and it can be pretty cold, and you can kick some leaves out of the way, and that ground is not froze under there. Them leaves really insulate. Incredible. Well, my friend, he's got a couple feet of leaves over his carrots, and he loves green carrots. He goes out and he cleans those leaves out of the way, and he reaches down and actually pulls some carrots out. Around New Year's, it could be 20 below out, and he's eating carrots. They have an incredible insulating factor. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to raise them during the summer, get the incredible growth out of them in the grow bags, and then I'm going to pull them out of there and line them up, and then for the winter, when they go dormant, do that. If you live in a southern state, you don't got to worry about it. You could raise them year-round. If you're in a northern state, I think it's a way that you could raise them. Well, I'm going to try this year and do it. But if nothing else, you might want to take some cuttings or get some cuttings from people and start them. And I'll put a link. Mike's Backyard Garden does a phenomenal video on backyard nursery, I should say. I'll put a link to his video on how to take cuttings, and you can take some cuttings now this spring, this winter yet, and get them rooted. And he shows you exactly how to take cuttings and root them. And once they root, then I would put them in the 1-gallon bags and grow them up. And like I said, they're high value. You're talking $25 $25 a piece. And I'm going to pot a bunch up and grow them out that way. But if you want to overwinter them, I think it's a way you could do it, okay? So I'll put all those links under there, where to get the bag, how to, start some cuttings, to do the whole shooting match on that, and give it a whirl. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to my channel. I sure appreciate it, and I'll be giving you some more tips and updates. Thanks a lot. This is Larry up in Perennials, Minnesota. Thanks.